Hi and welcome back. In this video we're going to look at how to do multiple things at once, or sort of at once, without using either threads or processes. As you can see, I've created a file here called generators.py, so that should give you a hint as to what we're going to try to do with this file. We've looked at generators before. Let me create an example of a generator. This one is going to be called countdown. It's going to take a number that we're going to start counting down from. And we're going to say while n is greater than 0, and we're going to yield n. Remember, that gives the value back to the caller, and then we're going to subtract 1 from n. So if we have a countdown like c equals countdown that starts from 10, we can then do something like print next of c. This is sort of nothing new here. What this is doing is we're creating a new generator, and as soon as we call next, it starts running the generator and it goes up to the yield and it gives back the value that we yielded. So in this case, it's going to give back 10. And then when we print next again, it's going to continue running all the way back to the next yield. So instead of going for 10, it would start with n as 10. It would subtract 1 from it, then it would repeat the loop, and it would yield n again, which would be 9. So as soon as you arrive at the yield, the correct word here is the function is suspended. So when you arrive at a yield, you get the value that was yielded, and the function is suspended there. And then when you call next again, the function resumes. So it's very similar to a thread, really, if you think about it, because the thread can at any point be suspended or removed from a core, and then it can be brought back and it continues running where it left off. So a generator actually behaves fairly similar to a thread in that when you arrive at a yield, you're removing it from the core if you wish, and then when you press next, you're sort of bringing it back and it continues running. So let's run this file. I'm going to right-click generators.py and run it. And as you can see, we get 10 and 9, which is what you sort of expect. The first next gives you the 10. Then when you go next again, it continues running up to the next yield and it gives you 9. So this is all good. What if we had C1, which is a countdown from 10, and C2, which is a countdown, say, from 20? Yeah? Now you have two tasks. A countdown that starts counting down from 10 and one that starts counting down from 20. And what you could do is this. So here you're printing the next value of C1, goes up to the yield and gives you 10. Then you're printing the next value of C2, which goes down to the yield and gives you 20. Then you could do this again, which resumes C1, subtracts -1 from n, goes and repeats the loop, and now gives you 9. That suspends, and then you move over to the next line, which gives you the next of C2. So that instead of being 20, now you subtract 1, and you repeat, and you now yield 19. Let's run this. You can see that this is what's happening. You are running one task, then you're suspending it and you're running another, and then you're suspending that and you're going back to the first one, then you're suspending that and going back to the other one. This is essentially some very slow multi-threading, but without using threads. Notice there's no import of threads or anything here. What you've got is two tasks yielding control of the main thread to one another. Think of it as passing the baton in these races. So if we can do this really quickly, if we can do C1 and then C2 really, really quickly, it may look as though they are running at the same time. This is essentially the purpose with threads. Remember, you cannot run two threads at once in Python, but you can slice their time on the CPU quickly enough that it looks like they're running at the same time. So this looks a bit like a hack, like something that shouldn't really work. But actually, asynchronous development in Python is built around this generator. Not this generator specifically, but generators as a whole. So let's look in the next video at how we can build our first task scheduler using generators instead of threads. I'll see you there.